everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at Near Protocol, see what's going on. Getting a lot of requests for this guy. I just double checked to see if it's worth taking a short or not, mainly because we've broken below some important moving averages in the 4-hour time frame. We're also reflecting some bearish divergence on the hourly too. So these are just things I want to kind of pay attention to and take a look at here. So let's go ahead and quickly peek at Near Protocol. So while we're loading up this backend data here, I want to ask that you quickly hit the like button, comment below. You get a chance, obviously, help grow the channel, get this in front of more people so less moon boys get the views and people actually get a fighting chance at being a better trader. Again, what I do isn't perfect, but it increases the odds of success, and the important thing is to not use high leverage and or position size. I know it seems crazy, hate me if you will, but I can tell you that it's a very smart strategy in most cases to not risk everything, right? Again, some people are getting super loaded right now. I totally get it, but that's few and far between, and it mostly is based on luck. So please just be careful with what you do and how you trade. So let's take a look here at Near Protocol. We can see 640 to 620. That's reflected on the charts, of course, but that's a heavy area of liquidation. I wouldn't say that's monumental, but it's pretty significant in the last 7 days. In other words, a lot of longs could get destroyed if we hit that 640 mark. Inverse applies to 725 to 760 is that upper level, so we could very well see that get hit as well. So we're kind of in the middle of both ranges. It's just that we're closer to the bottom range. And generally, when you get closer to a liquidation area, the price action will wick down and sweep some of those lower levels. So just know that could exist, especially with Bitcoin essentially, running to the downside. Let's take a look at the last 30 days and just get perspective on larger areas of volume and liquidation. We can see, of course, 640 to 620, it's reflected here, but obviously a tremendous amount at 727 to 760. So if you're considering a short trade with this, an invalidation would be the 7 to 720 range, because obviously that upper liquidation level would be likely the next target. So just keep that in mind. Either way, I'm just kind of throwing out better and worst case scenarios so you understand. You never want to just take a trade blindly without a game plan in place. And that's usually what I like to try to provide for you. So again, if you're part of our community, thanks again so much for the awesome feedback. We took some nice profits from TAO, T-A-O, 71%, and H-bar was at 84% over the last 48 to 72 hours. So it was a really good profit weekend for us. But again, those were just trades that we took with confirmation, and you don't generally want to just short into a coin that's exuding small bearish divergences, or more importantly, just liquidation alone. That's not a factor you want to use solely. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily time frame, work our way down. We can quickly peek at the monthly though, because the monthly candlestick did close. We can see here that the monthly is still having difficulty crossing 730. So 730, the local high, is essentially that area of resistance. Okay, so until we close above 730, I wouldn't say I'm super bullish on this coin. However, last month was a very strong month, bullish engulfing candle, likely to continue higher, but we do have a fair value gap as low as 557. So just know that it exists. We're not super overextended like most coins are, which implies we have further upside potential. Stochastic is swinging up and money flow index is above the RSI. That's generally a favorable sign. Weekly is probably a very similar circumstance here. Let me go ahead and remove a couple of small little indicators, clean up the charts a little. We can kind of see here that money flow index is still high on the weekly, which is strong. Stochastic is starting to diverge, and money flow index, again, trailing behind, but also above the RSI. That's generally favorable. So not necessarily great shorting conditions from a macro perspective, but quick disclaimer, most coins are going to exude the exact same behavior, just based on the simple fact that we've seen 3 or 4 strong weeks from most altcoins. Taking a look at the daily, this is where we can kind of start to see some cracks in the glass, if you will. We're above all moving averages, still good, still positive. We can also recognize too that we are over 50 on the RSI, but under 70. So we kind of rejected out that local high. Once again, that was the 730 range as a rough estimate. MACD is trying to diverge. Stochastic is swinging down. We have our second stochastic swing to the downside. That usually carries more weight than the first, just implying that the second swing was unsuccessful to break through the local high. Okay, commonly referred to as a double top. Probably likely to see further downside because of that. But again, you don't just take a trade because that one thing. But just know the daily time frame it's got slightly more bearish than bullish signs here. 4-hour time frame. Let's go ahead and see where we're at here. Again, you can kind of see the double top a little easier. Again, you don't want to trade these patterns just solely based on patterns alone. But what you do want to look at is divergences, and if we have any, right? So right now, at this exact moment, we're underneath the 20 and the 50-day SMA. generally unfavorable. We have a local low at about 680. That is essentially a pivot point there, where if we close above that, that's the point of control, then we're going to be in pretty good shape to see the price continue higher. However, if Bitcoin continues to retrace, we'll probably see Near Protocol pull back, but we need a little bit more time to kind of figure that out. For right now, Near is responding pretty positive to Bitcoin's correction. Take a look here at Bitcoin. It's got kind of a descending, broadening wedge pattern, and we can see Near Protocol very similar type of pattern, but a little more bullish in the local timeframes here. So that's good. 4-hour time frame though, just to clarify, we're under 50 on the RSI. That's generally a bearish sign. Does imply resistance. We can see that we are stochastically swinging to the upside, which is positive. Money flow index is low. MFI being low is a great sign, but you got to recognize that's including most of the weekend. Mondays MFIs are always going to be funky. I don't really trust the 4-hour MFI on Mondays. Anyways, take a look here at the hourly. We can recognize Ichimoku Cloud is confirming that we are still below, obviously, the cloud. Lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines below the baseline. So I would say at this point, Near Protocol is more likely to increase than decrease, or at least retest this resistance range before it pulls back. So hypothetically, if you're going to consider a short, 680, 685 is a rough estimate for entry. Again, shorting into a point of control, Ichimoku Cloud, and descending trend line is generally a favorable thing. However, you got to recognize that Bitcoin does just ramp back up here and breaks 97K, then I do think that would invalidate the potential for a short trade with this coin. So again, a small handful of considerations. So if you're going to short to this area of liquidation, this local low, and then consider getting out, because I don't think Near Protocol is going to run too far down. But it would make sense to retest that level, considering we're seeing small, shorter-term bearish divergences. But again, from a macro perspective, we're seeing a lot of good signs in the overall sense. So again, if you're going to short, you're going to want to make it a tight short. If you're going to take a long, I would wait for closure above $7 or $6.95 at least, that local point of control. In fact, I forgot to look at open interest here for Near, because that will help us kind of understand where everyone's basically positioned at. So if we take a look at this here, we can see a little clearer that they have the heavy concentrations at about 656, and of course 693. So 693, again, that actually reaffirms this point of control here. That tells us a lot. In other words, this is a resistance. Until we break above it, we can presume it's going to hold the price action down. So hypothetically, the price comes up here, it would make perfect sense for it to pivot or to reject off that local level, okay? Just some things to kind of think about. That's kind of where we're at there for Near Protocol. So again, if you're going to short, make it a tight short. If you're going to take a long, wait for confirmation. That's kind of where we're at there. I hope that makes sense. I'll post our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, so you can see that it's available here. If you're not familiar, I always post playout charts there. We also have a BitUnix prize pool, folks. If you use my link to register before or now or moving forward, $12,000 deposit bonus this month. Really easy to qualify. And I tell you what, we hit 800 million volume last month. I don't think we're going to have any trouble hitting 150% bonus for that deposit. So cool stuff, folks. Check it out. Link down below. I do hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks so much again for your support. Don't forget to like the video. We'll see you again soon. Take care.